Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hot.
Yeah, me too.
It's a bit weird. When I was testing today, I can't see I don't know why the video is not working anymore. And
Ah,
it's like completely black. I tested it, it's not working. So I guess there's something wrong with the camera on the laptop.
yeah. Let's have a quick look and see if make sure your screen sharing's all okay. 1 second.
Yeah, yeah. As long as that works, that's be fine.
There you go.
You see? Wait a second. No, how come they isn't the slides? I open the slides, but it isn't here. Let me try. Oh, okay, it's here.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Okay. As long as that works, it'll be perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, we are a little bit behind. I need to catch up a bit. Like we didn't talk about tones last time, which is quite important actually.
No worries.
So we'll talk about tones and numbers. Are there any more questions left from last session?
I don't think so just yet. I think maybe if we when we start, we just get them to maybe I don't know. Maybe we begin by seeing if anyone has any sort of questions or anything they want to ask from last session.
Okay. Okay. Good. Do you have any suggestions?
Not that I can think of at the moment. I think just as long as it's plenty of sort of interactive learning things and things that they can practice whilst we're going, I think that'd be great.
Okay. Okay. I think next session we may need to break them into small groups. We are going to talk about, let me see, when are we going to talk about prices? After the teaching. Yeah, next week we will talk about like the currency system over there. So we may need to break them into small groups.
Yeah.
And after that, it will be completely. The last week, we can break them into small groups, but it's not that important. Okay. How is is there people in the group now or just you and me?
They're just in the waiting room at the moment, so I'll just quickly grab the hosting back, and I'll just invite them all in when we get to 5:30, and maybe just do a little intro thing and just see if as many of them can turn on their cameras as possible so we can see them if they ask questions and things as well.
Okay. How's your training last Friday? Are you the one? You're the one, right? Okay.
Yeah, it went well actually. It went well. It was really good to do. We had a fair few people join, which was nice. So yeah, that was really good.
What's the annotate here? Oh, excellent. Okay, good. Oh my God, it's so hot today.
Yeah, it's too hot, much too hot.
Are you able to cope with such hot after?
No, I hate it. I hate it. I can't stand it. I like the cold. I've never liked the heat. Summer's my least favorite month.
But you've been living in China for 5 years.
true. But I lived in Shenyang a lot of it.
Okay.
Okie dokie, here we go.
Okay.
Hi guys, hello. Hello, good to see you all. Hi there guys. Can everyone see and hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up. Hey, excellent, fantastic. Great. I'm just going to give it a couple of seconds just as a few more people start joining, and then I shall pass you over in just a moment. We've still just got a few people coming in, and then I shall pass you over to Zhang Lao Shi. So, go. Fantastic. Okay, great, excellent. Well, without any further ado, I shall pass you over to our teacher, to our Lao Shi today. Here we go.
你好。Oh, sorry. 你好。Before we start, can I ask? Can't hear anything. Is it because of me? Well, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you just fine. That's okay. Everyone, can everyone hear Ardai? Ardia? Can everyone hear Zhang Lao Shi? Yeah, excellent.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Before we start, if you have any questions of our last session about Chinese phonetical systems, feel free to leave your question in the chat box. I will look at it and check it at the time. Okay. So we are going to review the phonetic system today. We left a couple of important ones that are unique in Chinese, and we're going to explain on that a bit, and then we'll move on to numbers. I hope you've watched the video on YouTube. If you are not, then I strongly recommend you to watch it, because somehow the music helps you to remember them. But we will talk about how to pronounce it today. And oh, I need to say sorry first, because I don't know why my camera is not working. Haven't figured out how to fix that yet. So today you will not be able to see me. Sorry. And then at the end of this session, we're going to talk about Chinese people's preference over numbers, like what numbers are preferred and what numbers are like avoided by Chinese. And we'll talk a little bit about lunar calendar very quickly. Okay. Any questions, feel free to leave at the group chat. I'll check it from time to time. First, review. How do you say to greet Chinese in Chinese? Can you please type your answer of question 1 in the chat box really quickly? You don't really need to worry about the tones. It's excellent. Great. I'm happy with that. 你好. So 你好 is used to say hello, literally means you good. But it is also but it also can be used when you are on the street and trying to ask people for help. So in the UK, you would say, "Excuse me, may I ask you this question?" Blah 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 blah. In China, use 你好 as well. So to stop some people who are walking past you and seek for help, this is what you say, 你好, and then you continue ask, "Can you show me the way to the beach, please?" Okay. So that's a really helpful, useful word in Chinese. We don't really have excuse me word in Chinese. And the second question, how do you address a colleague who is working in the school as well? So like literally means, how would you call a teacher in Chinese? Well done, Callum. 老师，很好. Great. So what if that lead Great, I'm happy with that. What if if you know that this teacher, his name is Li, blah blah blah. His family name is Li, and in the UK you call him Mr. Li. How would you call him in Chinese? Well done, Mustafa Li 老师. Excellent. You all put family name before 老师. That's amazing. Okay, not Li Xiaosheng. Nathan, not Li Xiaosheng. Okay, how about Mrs. Han? Mrs. Han. What if this lady, this teacher's family name is Han? Excellent. Han 老师. 很好. Well done. I'm happy with the result. Okay. So these are the 3 frequently used phrases. And through those 3 questions, you would be able to have an idea about Chinese questions. Also, you can use it in your lessons in the future. Okay, the first one is, try to read with me. The first one is 好了吗? 好了吗? The second one is 对不对? 对不对? So positive and negative and put them together actually is a question. The last one is 有问题吗? The same 吗 as well. Okay. Okay. Next one. Answer. 好了吗? Positive answer. Repeat that bit. 好了。有问题吗? Positive answer. Repeat 有, which means yes, I have. Negative answer. 没有 don't have. Okay. 对不对? Because you know 对 is positive. 不对 is negative. So the positive answer yes is 对. And negative answer no is 不对. Okay, we will try use it in our session as well. Okay, phonetic systems. We know the black ones. Try read with me really quickly. So think about how it is pronounced in the actual English word, not the sound of the letters. So the first one is basketball. Bo, po, mo, fo, de, te, ne, le, ge, ke, he. There is something you may need to know. Lots of Chinese cannot tell the difference between ne and le. So no matter when you're learning Chinese, learning more Chinese in the future, like when you talk to a Chinese, he or she might pronounce ne and le, he or she might mix it. So if you were like, that's not the word, but it's really similar to the word I've learned, think about it. You think about it, he or she might pronounce it wrong. The other thing is, when you are speaking English to the local people, lots of them were also not able to tell the difference between ne and the le. So nose and the lose are a little bit like confusing to especially Southern Chinese. Okay, the right ones. The red ones are the ones that does not exist in English, except this one. It's still the same, S, which is s, as in cell, as in soft, s, still the same. I have 2 ways to explain it. The first one is quite logical. The second one is quite cheeky. Let's take a look at the logical one first. And if you can capture with that one, so take that one. If you still need more help, then we take a look at cheeky ones. Okay, so this is the logical one. Oh, what happened? This is the logical one. So look at I put a couple of arrows on the right. This one said spread lips, which means this is ji, qi, xi. The first row, ji, qi, xi, they're all, when you pronounce them, your lips are spread, are reaching your ears. So, ji, qi, xi. And that one is also the same. When you pronounce them is zi, ci, si. I can understand that you may find, what are they all the same? No. Let's look at what's the difference between them if we look in columns. So for these 3, you need to block the airflow with the tongue, with the tip of your tongue, block and then release the air. For this column, for this column, you are tapping your top part of your mouth and let the air go really quickly. For this column, just let it go. There is no block at all. So this is a change from column to column. Completely block, tap, then no block at all. That one is quite special, but there are good news about that one. So let's start with this one, the S one that exists in English. S. When you're listening, you can try to follow me now. So this is S. If I tap with my tongue, it's T, T, T. And if I block really hard, then let it go, it's Z, Z, Z. You can hear that the airflow is trying really hard to unblock the block made by your tongue and your upper mouth. Okay, so let's say about this one. So if you're using the tip of your tongue with this group, using the middle part of your tongue with this group, exactly same shape of your mouth, exactly same skills to let the air flow. So this one, air flows easily. Xi, xi, tap, qi, block, ji, ji. Okay, let's do it over again. Try to pronounce with me. Xi, let it flow, no block at all. Qi, tap and flow. Qi, ji, block. Okay, so but let's move on to the last group. This group, you need to round the lips. Basically, you need to round the lips. So this is S, then round the lips, let air flow. Shi, shi. You will find that automatically somehow your tongue retreats to your throat a bit. That's right. That's right. Shi, shi, tap, chi, chi, block, zhi, zhi. Okay. For this one, I was thinking about putting it in black because it actually exists in English, like a rose, raw. You can either say r or say zh. Don't worry, most Chinese wouldn't be able to tell the difference because we don't have another sound stands for zh or zh. So when we say Chinese, when we say people, which is 人, 人, so lots of British said 人 to me, and I wasn't reacting at all. I wasn't stopping and trying to correcting them. So lots of my previous attendees of the sessions was like, wait a second, the tutor couldn't tell the difference between 日 and the 人 and the 人. So don't worry about that. But that will cause another problem for you when you are teaching English, as we can't tell the difference. So it's a bit hard for us to understand 日 and the 日. Okay? So just remember, if there is a letter H, that means you need to round the lips. Otherwise, you always spread the lips, give with a big grin. Toward move your mouth towards your ear. Okay, so I'll try it again and pronounce with me. S, c, z. This group. Xi, qi, ji. And the round lips ones. Shi, chi, zhi, and ri. So this is the logic way to understand them. And there's a cheeky way to understand them. They are really, really close to the sounds, some of the sounds in English. So you may notice that she is very close to sheep in she, and the chi is very close to cheese in cheese, and the ji is really close to jeep in ji. You can memorize it that way. That's totally fine with me. Okay, and t is cats, that sound. Z is yards, yards, that sound. And for the round lip ones, sh is similar to shirt. Ch is similar to chirp. Zh is similar to drink. Drink. There are slight difference between them, but that's a good way for you to have a feeling about it or to remember how to pronounce it. Okay. Any questions? Leave a message there, and I'll take a look at it. Okay. So that's the most difficult part of Chinese phonetic systems, to be honest. And we've done talking about these basic 6 vowels, right? Can we go through them together? The first one is a, then o, then when you're doing this one, you really need to pay attention. Think about how bug, okay, so the tongue are retreating to the throat, not a, not a, it's okay. And this one is e, like green, big green. And this one is u, the last one, u. How do we get to u really quickly? Pronounce e and then round the lips, which is e. Try do it. E. Yeah, great. Okay, so we put those basic finals together into like compound finals. So for the first group, they are a, o, e, u, ü. But why are letter y and w here? This is because somebody called them, like in some syllables, they are letter y and w at the very beginning. But you may notice that when we talk about initials, there isn't w or y there. This is because we think it is equivalent of e and u from the finals. So when you see letter y, think about yes, you. That's the exact same as in English, right? It's still e. And when you say w, think about would. Think about what. U is still quite same as in English. Okay, and when you put them together, just pronounce them together. Like a and I is r and e together. So it's I. Okay, so let's try them together. Y, next one. A, next one. Way. So this is a red one because when you see u and I, there's actually a sound between them, but we somehow shortened it into we. It's not we, it's way. Remember this way. So it's basically the same pronunciation as, let me put in this way. What's the way to postmouth? Way. It's basically the same as that one. Okay. And e and r together, you can pronounce with me together, is ya. This one, ye. This one, ow. This one, yao. This one, o. This one, you. So there is also a sound o between, but we shortened it. But it's still exactly the sound as in you. How are you? You. Wo. Wa. And the last one, yue. Okay, put n after it is an, yen. This one is quite unique. I can't find a sound in English, but we think it's very close to the Japanese dollar, Japanese currency, which is yen, right? It's basically that sound, yen. And this one, wan. This one, yuan. This one, en. This one, wen. Yun, and in. If you put the back nasal sound after it, and you can try it together. R and on is on. E and R and on is young. U and R and on is wang. And this is okay. And ying is exactly the same as in English, ying. But why do I put it in red? This is because lots of Chinese wouldn't be able to tell the difference between this ying and this yin. So if you are visiting the North China, they are really good at pronounce yin and yin separately. You can tell the difference. They are very aware of it. But if you're visiting South China, like Fuzhou, Chengdu, Shenzhen, they mix it. They would pronounce yin as yin. So they can't do the nasal sound, back nasal sound really good. So when you talk to them in English, think about it. In Chinese, if you're like, I think I said that word as yin, how come he's replying with in? That's because he's pronouncing it wrong, okay? But if you're going to North, don't worry about it. But North people also have some bad pronunciation, like they pronounce a lot of as lots of sounds should be o or r, but they can pronounce it into okay? That's the habit. Okay, if we put u and n together, is u, ong is ong, iong is i, ong, yong, yong. Okay, those finals, only the red ones, you need to pay a bit attention, like the Japanese dollar one, yen, this one, yun, and yin. The others, they are quite similar to your English pronunciation habit. Okay, so these are the Chinese names, and I put the pinyin, the phonetical spelling on the left, and I put the characters on the right. Take a look at it, and there are two questions I have for you. The first one is, which do you think is the family name? Which do you think is the given name? And the second one is, how would you call them if they are teachers? If they are teachers. So I'll let you have like 20 seconds to pronounce those spellings on your own. And if you find anyone is a little bit tricky or you are not sure about, feel free to let me know in the chat box. Okay? 20 seconds. Okay, here is my question. 好了吗？好了吗？好了吗？ Can you tap your answer as well? I can see some of you are nodding your head. Yes, I'm done. But how would you? Great. So that's how would you reply? 好了吗？好了吗？好了. If you need more time, you would say 没有，没有. Excellent. Good job, everybody. 好了. Okay, I'm going to read these names to you, and you can check with your own version. And if you find anyone that you are confused, you're feeling like not sure about, let me know in the chatting box. So the first one is Wang Wei. Wang Wei. Second one is Wang Fang. Next one is Li Wei. Next one, Li Na. Next one, Li Jing. This one, Wang Jing. This one, Liu Wei. This one, Wang Xiuying. Wang Xiuying. Anyone you find quite like, wait a second, that's quite different from what I thought it is, let me know, okay, in the chatting box. These names are what I found on the internet, saying that those are the most common names in China, but those are in my generation, like who are born before before the 21st century. For the new generations, they have different words like zi a lot. Lots of young teenagers of today are having a name with zi, Z-I, zi. Can I hear Jing? Jing. This one? Okay. There's Li Jing. Li Jing. This one, Wang Jing. Wang Jing. So letter J is pronounced as in Jeep. J, right? Jeep. So it's Ji, Ji. And the last bit is Ying. That makes it Jing. Jing. Li Jing. Okay, my second question, any question, feel free to type it. My second question is for the name of Wang Wei. Which one is the family name? Wang. Excellent. Great. 很好. I know that Wang is a little bit like impolite in UK, but it's one of, I think it's the most common family name in China. Okay. And what about this one? Wang Xiuying. Which one is the given name? Wang Xiuying. Which one is the given name? Xiuying. Excellent. Great. Both syllables, xiu and yin, both of them are given name, which means we don't really have such a thing as middle name. So when you ask a Chinese, what's your middle name? Lots of them will be confused. What's that? Okay, so we don't really have a middle name. Okay, so that's names. And if they work as a teacher, we call them 老师, and we put their family name before it. I think you have been very good at answering my first question in the beginning. So I'm going to do this part really quickly. So anyone you know, if he or she works as a teacher, you put the family name before 老师. So Wang Wei, if his profession is teacher or lecturer, you call him Wang 老师. Also, there is a funny thing in China. If you met a hairdresser and you won't get a haircut, which is really cheap in China compared with the UK, we call them 老师 too. And often the hairdressers, they got a name. We don't have like a barber shops, like hairdressers for ladies and hairdressers for men. They're always mixed. And often they have names like Tony or Jim. So when we walk into the hairdresser, we would ask for like, can I have Tony 老师 to help me cut my hair today? But that has become a joke. Like if you got a beautiful haircut, people will approach you and ask you, what's your Tony 老师? Which Tony 老师 stands for hairdressers now. Okay, when I was reading those names, you may notice that there are tones. There are technically 5 tones, but 4 of them are having markers on the top of the vowels. The 5th one is the neutral one, which is literally short on the light. And why do we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here is because it was designed by a musician, physicist, and linguistics. So he is good at music. So he thinks he uses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as do, re, mi, fa, sol, and he thinks the first tone is so, sol, second tone is mi, sol, third tone is re, do, sol, and the 4th tone is so, do. But I'm going to help you with this one, the McDonald's sign. So think about the first tone as in high flat tone. High flat tone. We're using the vowel R to pronounce it. So if it's the first tone is R, high on the flight. If it's the second tone, we call it the rising question tone. Question tone. We are asking, how are you? How are you? And this, what do you think? That question tone is R. And this one, the valley tone, or we call it bouncing tone. Remember, is a really, really low tone. This is the only tone in these 4 tones that starts from a low sound, go to the lowest, and then rising up. But in actually speaking, we only pronounce the redo bit. So you can remember it has a really long tone, so it can be ah, ah, ah. In full pronunciation is ah, 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 ah. But in speaking, we often eliminate the last ah bit, the rising bit. The last tone is ah, ah. So think about if someone step on your feet, you're like, ah, what are you doing? Or think about you strongly disagree, no. That's the foreign tone to us, okay? Firm and short, ah. Tones are quite important because if you pronounce it with same syllables with different, the same syllable with different tones, they represent different meanings. So that's why when you are pronouncing it, pay attention to it. For example, high flat tone, ma, makes it mother. Rising tone, ma, ma means that material. Really, really low tone, ma, ma. Or if I pronounce the fully tones, ma, ma. We only pronounce full tone if it's the last syllable of a sentence. Ma, that's horse. Ma, ma, that's curse. That's like to tell somebody off, okay? So if you can, please try to follow me read these syllable with the 4 different tones. For soup, it is tang, tang. For sugar is tang, tang. For to lie down, it is tang, tang. Or tang, if I pronounce it fully, tang. For hot, boiling hot. For food, not for the weather, okay, is tang, tang. So this is actually an expression. Tang, 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 tang means if you have lots of food and sugar and lay down all the time, on hot food all the time, you are likely to gain weight. That's what we believe. Okay. So there is one sound. Oh, sorry, I skipped this one. This is quite important is because in a sentence, if you mispronounce the one tone, that could mean different things. For example, I want to ask you a question is, 我想问你. If you pronounce the 3rd tone wrong and pronounce it as 我想问你, that means different thing. Okay, so ask is 问. To kiss is 吻, low tone, 吻. To ask, falling tone, 吻. Okay, and same sound, same tone could also mean different things. So that's the meaning of the symbols. Symbols are different, so it stands for different meanings, but they are all pronounced as 鸡, 优, 九, 九. Low tone, right? I can pronounce it fully, 九, or I pronounce first bit only, which is 九, 九. Okay. A really important word, bars, is 九八, 九八. So you met neutral tone here. If it's first tone, it should be 八. If it's second tone, rising tone, it should be 八. If it's third tone, low tone, it should be 八. If it's falling tone, it will be ba. But if it's neutral tone, no tone markers on the top of the vowel, is ba, ba. You're speaking, you're pronouncing it really short and light. So 九八. The ba sound is coming from bar, and the 九 means alcohol. Okay. So lots of modern Chinese words are actually quite similar to English, to be honest. Okay, so that's all about the phonetics. And you've known everything now. And with the aid of Draco, I hope you can explore of the sounds. And I hope you did this bit, which is the assignment from last week, and you did check on Draco of how number 1 to 10 are written. And if you didn't, don't worry, I put it here. So this is the sign language of number 1 to 10 in China. 1 to 5 are quite simple. And can you do it as well as reading it with me? So number 1 is E, E, high flat tone, E. Number 2, falling sharp tone, 二, 二. Number 3 is 三, 三. Number 4 is 四, 四. And also take a look at symbol for 1, 2, 3. They're just 1 line, 2 line, 3 lines. Okay. Number 4 is like a window with curtains. Number 5, falling tone. And the W is U, right? So it's U, U. Or fully U, U. In the sentence, in the conversation, it's just U, U. Okay, number 6 is a bit different now. Okay, it's like your thumb and your little finger only. We use this a lot. Liu, liu. So if people are confused as to what you are saying, if you give them the sign of with your hand, they would be able to understand you. Okay. Number 7, cheese, qi, qi. And that looks like a bird's beak, right? Yes, that's how we do qi.
One second, let me see if I can fix it. One mo. It's always going to happen. We can go through the numbers. One mo. Let me. I'm going to unmute everyone. Hang on. Give yourselves an unmute. If you guys all unmute yourselves, I think Zhang Lao's internet has just died. But that's okay. We can go together. Okay, so do we remember our first one? I'll just get that up 1 second. Yeah, no worries if you can't unmute yourselves just at the moment. Okay. Let's have a little look. Here we go. Cool. So if we give it a go, of course, someone's got it on Pinterest. Right. What will probably work better actually is if I do it myself. So if we go, first of all, number 1, we get E, E. As many of you unmute as you can. I want to hear a few. We hear a few of these. Okay, here we go. And 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9. And then we can do, there's a few different ones you can do for 10. You've either got sh, or you can go sh. Now, there's a good reason why you can do sh as each one. Because in Chinese, which is much, much handier for counting on your fingers than in English, if you go above 10, everything has a sh in it. So 11 is shi. You go shi er, shi san, shi si, shi wu. And then when you get to 20, it's er, shi. And 30, san, shi. San, shi, san, shi, er. So you can actually count all the way up to 100 just using two hands in Chinese. And that is incredibly useful if you're going to a shop. So if you're going to a shop and you can't quite remember what 13 is of something, you will get 13 apples or whatever you're wanting to get. You just go, shisan. But there are some quite good, easy ways of remembering this. So when I count up, what I used to do is a little bit silly, was I used to always find that when I got to number 4, I was okay. So I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you get to wu. I always think of wu as being like the ghost number. It's like a creepy hand, like a scary ghost. You go woo. And then you've got liu, which is our sort of lion number, and qi is our bird. It's always like, there's a really terrible film, it's called The Room, and they make a sound of chickens, but they don't go buck, 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 they go chi chi chi. They always think of chi 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 for number 7. You got ba, which is your sheep number, the number 8. And then you've got jiu, jiu, where you're getting a glass of orange juice. And then you've got your shi at the end. I think our Lao Shi has come back now. So let's get him back in. Here we go. One moment. Let's see. Cool. Let's make sure Zhang Lao Shi can unmute. One second. Zhang Lao Shi, can you unmute? If you just go to the side, you're just muted at the moment.
Mute my audio.
There you go. Excellent.
你好，可以听见。Sorry. You can hear me, right? Okay, excellent. Sorry for the technical problem. Don't know what happened. Okay. So this is number 1 to 10, and these are the sign languages and the actual pronunciation. And thank you, Will, for explaining it to everybody. We actually had an activity. So this is what we are going to do. I'll spend, can we extend for 5 minutes? If you're okay, stay with me for another 5 minutes so that I can make up the time we lost. If you need to go to do something else, feel free to go. It's actually we've finished talking about numbers for now, and we'll have more activities, and then we'll talk a bit about lunar calendar. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a number in my mind. What you need to do is to find out, think which one it should be, and how do you let me know? How do you let me know what number you think it is? So you can either put number, the sound of it. Let's say if you think it's number 3, you can either put 3 there, or you can put the character of it. I can give you a hint by saying that no, it's actually smaller than 3, or no, it's actually bigger than 3. Okay, if you got any question, let me know. If you're ready to go, I'll put this page on. So I have put a number in my mind, and which one do you think it is? Mustafa said 9, Nathan said 7, Lawrence said 5. Lawrence, you're right. It's 5. It's 5. Okay, let's do it again. So I put another number in my mind. It's not 8. Okay. I put another number in my mind. Which one do you think it is? 3. Emily said 3. No. Lawrence said, oh, no. Johnny said 9. Johnny, you are the one. Yes, that's 9, not Liu or Yi. Okay, excellent. Okay, the last session. I put a number, the 3rd number on. What number do you think it is? 10, 1, no. 4, no. 8, no. 6, no. 3, no. 2. 2. That's right. Lanley, P. Lanley. Is P your family name? That's right, it's 2. Okay, so that's a feeling of number 1 to 10. And think about how 11 to 20 is. If you already know, then think about what 20 to 90 is, and let me know next time. Okay, calendars. Numbers, sorry. Numbers in life. How do you read phone numbers, room numbers, and subway lines? We read them just for like telephone numbers, we just read the numbers individually. Exactly in English, you do like 07825 blah 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 blah. We say the same thing. Can you try read with me together? I didn't say 0. 0 is 0. Let me put 0 here. 0 is 0. So this number should be, try with me, 0. Let me put 0 7 8 2 5 7 7 8 3 3 3. Okay, every number individually, that makes the phone number. What about house number? Like in English, you say 88. In Chinese, we also say 8 18 8 18. And you need to know how to say 11 to 20. Okay, I'll let you figure out how to read it. But it's basically the same habit as in English. Okay, but for number, the word for number is how. How. So if it's number 1 is 1 how. Number 1 is 1 how. The number 13 is 13 how. 13 how. Okay, that's how you use them. And there is a tip, there's a note you need to know. So when we're telling people our phone number, the number 1 is often pronounced not as E anymore. It's pronounced as yao, So take a look at the sound of them. This is because we think E sounds so similar to 7, 7. So we changed it a bit into yao to make it E. So look, when you have a Chinese number, which is this, how do you read it? Try with me. 1 8 8 1 8 1 8 1 6 1 6. That's a good number in China. Why? Why is that a good number in China? Let's take a couple of numbers here and let's read them together, and you tell me later which one do you think Chinese people like the most. So first one is 1 3 3 1 7 7 7 2 454. Second one, 188 6869 6688. Third one, 136 2628 5555. The last one, 177 2434 1144. So which one or which ones do you think Chinese people would prefer? Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. 1, 2, 3 or 4? Mustafa said 1. Nia said 3. Nathan said not 4. That's a good answer. Definitely not 4 because there are too many number 4 there. There are too many number 4 there. Number 1 got a rhyme in it. Sounds right. Not number 2. Emily said not number 2. Actually, number 2 might be the most likely one, the most preferred one by Chinese, because there are lots of number 8 and number 6 and number 9 in this one. So Chinese people like number 6 and number 9 and number 8. This is because number 6, 六, it exists in the old saying, which means everything will go really well. That old saying is 六六大顺, 六六大顺. So it is from Mahjong, I think. And that's why we like number 6, because it indicates that everything will go smoothly, no problem at all. We like number 8 because 八 sounds similar to 发, which means prosper, which means things will thrive, which means your business will grow very well. So number 8 is really, really a lucky number for businessmen and for Chinese in general. Number 9, as from number 0 to number 9 is the biggest one as the 1-digit numbers. So number 9 is liked by Chinese because especially it's actually used by the royal families in Chinese history. Like only the royal family can use number 9 a lot. So that's why we like 8 and 6 and 9. Well, this number 4 is regarded as the symbol of death because it sounds so similar. Number 4 is 四, right? It sounds so similar to 四, same syllable, just different tones. 四, falling tone is number 4. 死, low tone is to die. So we really don't like it because it stands for to die. Sounds so similar to die, to death. Okay, so number 4, avoid it. Yep. Lots of hotels will try to avoid having a 4th floor. Actually, you are in the 4th floor, but your floor will be marked as the 5th floor. So it's skipped. Okay, so that's why the 4th number here with lots of number 4, 4 here, is not liked by Chinese at all. Okay, so if you give presents or count something, so keep that in mind. For Chinese calendar, I was going to explain this to you. So there are 2 characters I'd like you to say. One of them is 月, the right one is in the shape of moon. The other one is in the shape of 日, the sun, which is read as 日 and 月. So we have 2 calendars in China. The calendar you are using now, we call it the sun calendar, the solar calendar. The calendar used by lots of Chinese as well is the lunar calendar. So lots of Chinese festivals are set according to the lunar calendar. For example, the Mid-Autumn Festival is the 15th of September according to lunar calendar. That means it will be a different date actually in solar calendar. The lunar calendar is set according to the movement of the moon instead of the sun. So that's why we call it a moon calendar. And and mostly the lunar calendar is like 1 to 2 months behind the solar calendar. So let's say it's already August now, but in the lunar calendar, we are still in July, or we're still in June actually. It's beginning of August now, but in lunar calendar, we're still in June. So that's why the Spring Festival, which marks the beginning of a new year, is actually in solar calendar, is actually most often happens in February. So like the lunar calendar falls behind a bit. So that's why when you talk, but the good news is young generations, like my generation and the teenagers, they are not using lunar calendar that much. But lots of Chinese, if they are going to make a big decision, like getting married, move the house, get a new car, etc., to travel to a place far away, they will check out the lunar calendar to say if it's good to do so. Okay, so that's one thing. And this is something for fun. Like if you know number 1 to 10, you know how to say January, February, March, blah, 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 blah. We just say like January is the first month, so it's number 1 月, which is 1月. So let's move back to the numbers. So February is 2月, March 3月, April 4月, May 5月, June 6月, July 7月, August 8月, September 9月, October 10月. Okay, so that's why if you know number 1 to 10, you will be able to know 11 to 20, and you will be able to know literally 1 to 99, and then you will be able to know how to say months and dates. Okay, so that's all about today. What I would like to ask you to do is to think about those 4 questions. And then if you got any question, leave your question at the group chat. I'll check those questions next time. And I will also check how have you found out how to say 11 to 20. Okay. If you've finished thinking about those questions and got no questions to me, feel free to leave. And that's the end of this session. Thank you. Excellent. 不客气。再见。Okay, excellent. Okay, well, I think that's just you and me now. Thank you for helping me out. Bye-bye.